but still not loud enough.
Now it's okay. Now it's
No,
okay.
ma'am.
No. Now is it okay, Anaya?
Um, no, ma'am.
Still, see now.
Okay, a little bit better.
Better means how, like okay.
Now it is okay, ma'am.
Now,
Yes, ma'am.
soothing properly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So you have to point me if anything is happening. Just raise your thumb like this and let me know.
Okay, ma'am.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
I would
Yes,
like
ma'am.
to know how I am used to Zoom. I would like to know how to share my PowerPoint here.
We will be.
Ma'am, there will be a button at the bottom of your screen, next to the raising hand symbol. Can you see that?
Yes, it's an arrow.
Yes, that's right. So
Present
when you
now.
click that button, yes, correct. So when you click that, you will be able to share your screen.
Yeah, but will it get also my PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am, it can.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I'm sorry. I'm used to Zoom.
Oh no, that's okay. That's okay.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Anaya, everything is fine on my side.
Yes, ma'am, all well.
Okay. So when are we starting?
I guess let's start now. Okay.
Madam?
Okay, let's start.
So the
A
echo
very good morning to one and all. I, Anaya Mapari, along with my colleague Mukul Arya, would like to welcome you all for the 3 days international conference on techniques of legal research organized by Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University New Law College, Pune, India, in collaboration with Social Sciences and Management Welfare Association, Jabalpur, India. A man is made by his beliefs. As he believes, so he becomes. While quoting Lord Krishna on the holy occasion of Janmashtami, we would like to welcome you all for this conference. Albert Sen-Gairogi has said, and I quote, "Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought." True to these words, research is truly a skill that explores vast opportunities to dive into the depths of knowledge.
Over the next 3 days, we will together explore the various methods of conducting research by listening to the wise words of our versatile panelists, all of them being excellent researchers themselves. We have a plethora of great speeches coming up which will truly teach us something meaningful and hopefully will make of all of us better researchers, much like our esteemed guests.
Research is creating new knowledge, according to Neil Armstrong. With this, I would really like to commence the conference by saying one thing to our guests. In spite of not being together in skin and flesh, we are truly honored to be sharing a computer screen with all of you who have joined us from across the globe for this virtual event.
Now I would like to invite Dr. Ujjwala Pindale ma'am, Dean and Principal in Charge, Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, New Law College, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Mukul. Thank you, Anaya, for making a good start. And let's begin with this.
Excuse me, ma'am, you are not audible.
Oh. Now am I audible?
No, ma'am.
No.
Yeah, we can hear her. I can hear
Yes.
her.
Ma'am, you are audible. Okay, now can you all hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Yes, thank you. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 3 days international conference on techniques of research organized by Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University New Law College, Pune, India, in collaboration with Social Sciences and Management Welfare Association, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, India, coordinated by Rashmi Dubey Madam, the research scholar at Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university, doing her research in artificial intelligence and assistant professor at Bharati Vidyapeeth. I, on now behalf of Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university and New Law College, Pune, welcome all the respected dignitaries who have consented for this particular conference and are going to enlighten us and have graced us for this particular occasion. Today, I take the honor of welcoming Professor Dr. Shimam L. Kafafi, Director of Research, Senior Lecturer and Guest Lecturer in various universities and territory institutes overseas and in New Zealand, member International Social Science and Management Welfare Association. I also welcome Dr. Sunil Goel, sir, Dean and Professor, Head of Devi Ahilya Government College, Indore, Social Sciences Scientist, Dean, Professor and Head, Writer, Master Trainer, Motivational and Professional Speaker, Researcher, PhD, Research Guide, Project Director, Major Director, Government of India, and Editor-in-Chief of IRJSSH. I also welcome Professor Dr. Kushal Vibhute, sir, Professor of Law and Director, Amity Law School, Amity University, Maharashtra, and Honorary Professor Emeritus, National Law University, Jodhpur. I also welcome Mr. Professor Manoj Kumar Mishra, Professor, College of Business and Economics, Salil University, Pitech, Ethiopia, Member International Social Science and Management Welfare Association, and I will warmly express my gratitude towards all the dignitaries today who have consented for enlightening all our students. Dear all, I take your permission, and with your permission, I'm here to introduce you to Bharati Vidyapeeth. Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university. Institutions were accorded deemed university status in 1996 for its academic excellence. Bharati Vidyapeeth is accredited with A+ grade in 2017 by NAC. It has Category 1 university status by UGC and is ranked 63rd by NIRF. The Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university, has established academic excellence and offers programs in innovative and emerging areas. Presently, it has 29 constituent institutions, including 3 research institutes dedicated exclusively for research. It is multi-campus and multidisciplinary and is catering to the needs of urban and rural students. It has world-class infrastructure and facilities and has launched several innovative and academic programs. It has best teaching learning processes and has entered into national as well as international collaborations. Dear all, let me tell you, all this has been possible only because of Honorable Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahib, the founder of Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university, a visionary who, at the age of 18 years, decided to establish Bharati Vidyapeeth as a distinct educational institution. Today, Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahib is the guiding star for whole of Bharati Vidyapeeth fraternity. The zestful patron of Bharati Vidyapeeth is Professor Dr. Shivaji Rao Kadam sir, the Chancellor of Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university, member UGC, member NAC, and recipient of many national and international awards. We have our next and young and dynamic patron of Bharati Vidyapeeth, Honorable Dr. Vishwajit Kadam sir, Pro Vice Chancellor Bharati Vidyapeeth, member AICTE, and former member State Minister Social Justice and Special Assistance Department. Honorable Vishwajit Kadam sir is an excellent visionary like Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahib and is stepping on the same path of success and is positively carrying forward the torch of Bharati Vidyapeeth to more greater heights. Supporting Dr. Vishwajit Kadam sir is Dr. Asmita Tai Jagtap Kadam, the Executive Director of Medical Foundations of Bharati Vidyapeeth and Professor Dr. Manikrao Salamkesar, the Vice Chancellor, Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university. Both are disciplinary and brilliant administrators. Dear all, under the excellent guidance of our beloved patrons, New Law College, Bharati Vidyapeeth has been consistently ranked amongst top law schools in India by India Today, The Week, Outlook, Education Post, and so on. Bharati Vidyapeeth New Law College has been re-accredited with A+ grade by NAC and also is the recipient of Gold Star Award from Bar Council of India on the eve of its Golden Jubilee celebrations. It is a matter of pride to inform you all today on this international conference that New Law College Bharati Vidyapeeth is an awardee of Best Law School in India for Research and Pedagogy for IIRF Education Impact Award by New Delhi, India. In the academic year 2021, 21 and 22, under my tenure, the faculty members of this particular college have published almost 50 articles, research papers in Scopus, in Web of Science, and in peer-reviewed and UGC care list. And they are all internationally renowned national and international journals. And as well, three minor projects are also being taken up by faculty members. Our students have also it's a real matter of pride to inform you that my students under my tenure has published more than 91 articles and research papers this year, along with 18 books and many more blogs nationally as well as internationally. Dear all, at Bharati Vidyapeeth New Law College, the faculty members and students are continuously encouraged not only to publish research publications, but also write books, chapters, reviews, blogs, and so on. And let me tell you, the core object of today's collaboration and today's conference is to expound the topic to a remarkable extent, adapting to various techniques of research. And therefore, with this motto, Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be University New Law College has, in collaboration with Social Science and Management Welfare Association, organized this international conference for all the students of different streams of education. And to make this conference a great takeaway session, various learned guest speakers has also been has been invited, both from the country as well as from abroad. Each guest speaker is an eminent personality and a person with great research skill. I extend my gratitude on behalf of Bharati Vidyapeeth and New Law College that they have accepted our invitation and opted to enlighten the participants with various techniques of research. At the end, I would only like to quote the quote of Professor Demond Jones, who says, "Every problem can be solved as long as they use common sense and apply the right research and techniques." So, with this note, I take a rest of my speech and encourage all the participants to understand that research and their techniques are very significant, and every speaker who are going to enlighten us have very unique way of understanding and making us understand different techniques of research. Thank you everyone for your patience listening. Over to everyone, and all the best to all the speakers, and we begin with the particular conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. We shall now commence with today's session by calling upon Professor Dr. Siham El Kafafi. I request Mukul to kindly introduce her as the first speaker of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
If you don't have it, you cannot give it. Believe in your ideas and believe in yourself. Such is the doctrine followed by our first guest speaker for the day. With such beliefs and confidence, the founder of Arrows Consultancy Limited, New Zealand, namely Professor Dr. Siham El Kafafi, is present amongst us for the symposium to ennoble our minds. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate Professor Dr. El Kafafi, as she was bestowed with the Global Education Leader Award in recognition of her outstanding contributions in expanding knowledge and education during the Global Education Summit 2021. Professor El Kafafi held various academic positions as Head of Academic Faculty, Business, Finance and English, Director of Research, Senior Lecturer and Guest Lecturer in various universities and tertiary institutes overseas and in New Zealand. For instance, Malvern Online, UK and Singapore, Massey University in New Zealand, Southern Cross University in Australia, and a lot more. Dr. El Kafafe is on the board of trustees for the Home of Entrepreneurship and Innovation on the governance board of the Global Academy of Entrepreneurship and Innovation as president, representing Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Cyprus, Dubai, UK, US, and New Zealand. Professor El Kafafi got awarded the Performance-Based Research Fund in New Zealand twice on April 2013 and May 2007, besides various other international and national awards. She has a wide industry and consultancy experience in the medical, manufacturing, and service industry, besides being an academic for the past 24 years, who helped graduate over 10,000 students during her career. So now I would request Professor Dr. El Kafafe to proceed with the nitty-gritty of writing an academic research abstract.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm humbled by your introduction. I'm really grateful. It's an honor to be with you, and it's an honor to talk with like-minded people in relation to research. And as you have mentioned today, I chose to talk about abstracts and writing and the importance of writing in order to embark on our journey in research. We start by writing. And I always tell my students is that we cannot write if we cannot read and enrich ourselves. So I'm looking forward to those 3 days of enrichment and of sharing with people with like-mindedness to talk about different aspects and different techniques of research. May I have the other slide, please? Shall I say next? I am not controlling the slides.
Yes, madam, you can say next.
Next, yes. Next, please. Okay. I would like to start with a proverb, a saying that I found, which says it's that it is wiser to find out than to suppose, which is actually in the heart and the soul of what we are doing in research. So if somebody comes and tells you any statement, you need to find out, is it robust? Is it actually founded on basis of robust research or not? So it's a good idea to go and research and find what does it mean instead of just supposing and guessing. Next, please. Okay, so this is the content, what I'm going to be talking with you today. I will start by introducing the importance of writing. Why is it important to write? What is the purpose of writing? And then talk about the importance of abstract. What does the abstract include? And there are differences. Abstracts, for example, if it's an abstract for your thesis, for your PhD, versus it's an abstract for a conference. What are the different themes? What are the different languages and examples that I will demonstrate to you how to write it and tips, and then finally conclusion. Next, please. So why do we write? We ask ourselves, why are we writing? And we have to, first of all, decide and choose what is the topic that we are experts in it. So if anybody of my students or anybody who wants to embark on any research, the first thing they ask, what am I supposed to write about? And my first advice to them is that you need to choose a topic that you are passionate about, a topic that you want to learn more about. So choosing your topic is actually very crucial and important. And then after that, you need to look at the writing process, and you need to go into more depth in order to formulate the framework of what you are going to be writing about. And then you start gathering information from different resources about that topic. It could be books, it could be journal. We look at different databases nowadays, which is available for all universities. Of course, also some of the people go to Google, but it is Google Scholar that is actually more academic than just any pieces. Like, for example, in the academic world, Wikipedia is not really acceptable. So anyway, when we are looking at those different resources, what we're trying to find out is that what are the others people before us wrote about, and which pieces that we are going to utilize in our research to help us in bringing up our ideas and our thoughts, and in order to formulate what is it that we would like to investigate in this piece of research. Next, please. So this triangle is very famous, and we need to look at it before we write. So these are the three important things. What is the purpose? What are you writing for? What is this piece going to be helping with? Why are you doing it? How are you going to be influencing people? And of course, this is through your writing, through the content. So once you decide about the purpose of this piece that you are writing, then you move to the next one, which is the format. How are you going to shape it? What is it going to be? Is it going to be a chapter in a book? Is it going to be a journal article? Is it going to be a research project? What is it exactly? And then most importantly is your audience. So who is your target audience? To whom are you writing this piece of research? Because different audience requires different styles and different ways of writing, and of course, different outcomes. Next, please. So I've compiled this table for you to look at these different purposes for writing. So for example, if your piece of work is that you are trying to inform, that's the purpose. So you need to find this, what kind of information, and how are you going to deliver that piece of writing to inform. Is it going to be a journalistic writing? Is it going to be a lab report that you're talking about an experiment and its result? Is it going to be a business report? And again, who is your audience for whom you're writing it? The other purpose, for example, you're writing for entertainment. So your language is going to be different. It's going to be flowery. Maybe you're going to use a lot more of figures of speech. Maybe it's humorous. So what is it going to be for a newspaper, for television, for whom? The other is to also to explain. So for example, you conducted a certain project or a certain research, and you want to explain what happened, what were the different steps, and what was the outcome, and what was the result. So there you are writing essays, you are writing pieces for a special audience that you need to explain certain process, for example, for them. Next, please. Also, if you are going to write a piece to persuade, you want to persuade somebody with your point of view. So you need to use a way of logic, and you have to support it with evidence. If you are going to argue, and this is you are debating, so you are going to put the pros and the cons and the different point of views. Next, please. So if you're going to evaluate, which is you are going to evaluate an argument and see its merits and see if this is really, you're going deeper and being critical. So we have, for example, in the journal articles, you can have a piece that is you are analyzing and putting a review for a book for us academically. In any other field, some of the people will go to a movie or will go to a restaurant, and then they write a critical piece about it. They are evaluating it. Also to express, when you're expressing your feelings and your emotions. And actually, we use it as academics a lot when we are doing reflective practitioners' writings. We go and reflect on our practice. We see what went well, what didn't go well, and we keep always a reflective journal. And nowadays, there are lots of educators who are also writing pieces of research where they are reflecting on also their students, their classes, the results. And the aim of it is to aid and assist in continuous improvement. Next, please. So Abstract, an academic abstract. What is an academic abstract? So it is actually a concise piece of writing. It summarizes the entire paper, the entire thesis, if you are doing a PhD. So it's extremely important. It is like saying, gathering all this wealth of information that you have been working on for quite a long time and presenting them in few words. And that is an art in itself, to be able to say what you want in few words and express it. So you have to be careful on your choices of words, and you need to know what you're going to write in it. So usually when you are submitting an abstract for a conference, the conference organizers would tell you, some of them would tell you, we want 150 words, some 200, 250, 300, 500. It depends on the conference, on what do they look for. And also in your thesis, some of the people would have the whole page, which is about 500 words. Next, please. So the important thing that you need to know is that your readers are going to decide about to read your article from that abstract. So let us take an example. Usually, I teach my students to be smart in the way when they are researching. We are all short of time, and time is a very valuable and important resource. So the first thing when you go online in any of the databases, for example, to research in your topic, which you chose, you look at the title. And then the next thing, you look at the abstract. A good abstract is actually explaining in totality what is going to be in this research paper. And if you mastered the art of putting all the components that will put your research paper in a good light, people will actually download it and read it. It's also, if you are talking in your thesis, people will decide. So this is the first glance that anybody would look at and decide. And as human beings, we tend to do that a lot. Also, it is like an overview of your research, and it should be engaging. And that abstract is going to decide, for example, for reviewers, if they are going to accept or reject your piece of work. Next, please. So when you're writing an abstract, people write a lot of drafts, and then afterwards, the final one, if it's a PhD, you start with it, and then you keep honing it, and you keep improving it, and the final version is once you're finished. But in conferences, unfortunately, although the abstract should be the last thing written, it is actually the first thing they ask us. They ask you, please, this is the first time you are going to submit, and that is the deadline. So for a conference, abstract goes first. Next, please. So when you are going to include in your abstract, it's very important to put what is your research question? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of this research? And why is it important? Because you are the one who wrote it. What are the key points in this research? What are the gaps that you found out? What is your methodology? And what are your key findings? And what is the implication of research? Some actually journal articles, they would ask you, they will give you these headings and want you to fill it. But some they don't. They leave it flexible, and it's advisable if you follow all those tips and points and include them in your abstract. Next, please. So these are some questions that you can ask yourself. And usually when we ask questions is to trigger our thoughts, to assist us in order to see what we write. So you can ask, why is it important? What other things was written in this topic? And what did I find out? And what are the implications of my findings? Next, please. You can ask more precise questions in different ways. Some people, they would write about methodologies, principal conclusions, findings, and tips at the end. And of course, we put the keywords at the end of each abstract. Also, it depends on the conference organizers or the journal publishers. They would tell you maximum 5 or minimum 3 keywords, and they would give you those instructions. So it is always advisable that you would check the journal you want to publish in, or the conference that will give you guidelines for the author, so that you would follow those guidelines, because there are differences between different journals or organizations. Next, please. So what are the different types? There are different types of abstracts. You can have informative abstracts, which is actually you are just informing and giving an overview of a topic that you have been researching in, or a descriptive abstract, which is targeted on a certain goal and describing certain methods that you have used. Also, there are critical ones where you are making different point of views, you are analyzing certain phenomena within this research paper. Next, please. So, what are the different themes and variations? If you are in the field of social sciences, you are always focusing on the scope, the purpose, and the result of that work. But if you are talking in the art fields, you tend to give a background of the study, you tend to speak about the central thesis, and then you draw from all these things the conclusions. Next, please. So, in a conference abstract, I'm giving you some ideas, is that you need to submit it for a committee. So usually there is always a deadline, and a committee would look at it, would decide, is it fitting with the conference theme? Is it fitting for the purpose? Is this what they want? And then afterwards, when you submit it, if it got approved, you will get certain feedback. Some of the conferences that I used to go to, they give you even scoring about the content, about your methodology, about your critical analysis, and you score certain points. And once you score those points, they click it and accept it. So each conference or each organization, they have their own system and their own criteria in order to analyze your abstract and decide on it. So that is why I mentioned is that it is of vital importance if you actually look at the guidelines and look at the requirements. Some conferences are targeted towards specific, focused on specific fields. Like when we find mechanical engineering, we can find journals only or conferences only for adult education, others for social sciences, others only for innovation and entrepreneurship. But also there are lots of conferences that are multidisciplinary. So once you decide which ones fits with you, and then you start submitting your abstract to that specific conference in order to guarantee that you would be accepted. Next, please. So also we need to concentrate on the language that is being used in the abstract. So usually use a past tense to refer to what you've done, okay, in each different stage of your research. And then you use the present tense when you are commenting about certain significant items or findings within your research. You also use the active verbs when possible, like the study tested instead of it was tested by the study, you see? And then also you use non-evaluative language. So you're reporting, not commenting on what you have done. So this is advisable if you notice the style and the language that you are using in your abstract. Next, please. So there are certain things, please try as much as possible to not include. So definitions. And why do I say that? and citations is because when you are using definitions and citations, you need to reference them. And no, we are not supposed to put any references inside the abstract. So if you're using abbreviations and acronyms and symbols, you are presuming that the people who are reading it will know it. We're living in a world right now where there are lots of acronyms, and there can be a lot of similarities, but they are different from one field or one discipline to the other. So these are the things that, please, you need to evade doing it. Also, talking about something in the abstract that is actually not discussed in detail in your paper. And also, this is relevant to also the keywords that you are going to choose. Keywords are extremely important for abstracts because these keywords are the ones that identify your abstract when somebody's searching. So when you go to any database and put the keywords that you're searching in order to get a research paper, those keywords, they are the ones who identify your paper and let people actually retrieve it and download it and read it. Next, please. Okay, so what are the components of your abstract? The first thing is that you need to write. What is the reason? Why are you writing it? You need to convince the person in front of you of the importance of your research. It is your little baby, right? And it's very important that you express that and you show it that this is my baby. I've done this work. It is very important. And if you are tackling a specific problem, you need to tell them what is the problem, what is the scope of it, which means you need to be focused on this specific project. And then you discuss with them and tell them, what were you trying to solve there? What was the issue? How did you reach there? So what was the main issue there and what was the claim? What is your argument? Next, please. So, of course, the methodology. What methodology have you used? It is extremely important nowadays. Some of the people tend to forget, and I review lots of research papers submitted to journals, and unfortunately, some of the people forget to write about it, even if you write a sentence or a statement. Is it qualitative? Is it quantitative? Even if it's a literature review, there are different types of literature review. You need to actually demonstrate that you're mastering your topic. You are mastering your piece of research. You do know what you are talking about. So it has to come from your heart. Then the reader will be convinced with your piece of research. Okay? So talk about the different types of evidences that you used in research. Your results also are key thing. You can just allude to them. Of course, you're not going to write in details and just the headings of those main important findings. It's very important also to show it in there, or else they will say, so what have you done? You wrote this and did that, but what was your finding? Was there any finding? I mean, you know, so it's very crucial that you put it also there in your abstract. Next, please. And then the implications. How does this work actually add to the body of knowledge? We all of us know. I believe some of the people say that a literature review may not be actually, you're not adding to the body of knowledge. Each single piece of paper that we write, when you are reading and gathering all this information, you understand it in your own way. This is the beauty of our diversity and how dynamic our brains are. We look at things from different angles. We can be reading the same piece, but I will understand it in a different way, and each one of you will understand it in a different way. You will express it and write about it from your own perspective, from your own angle, from your own understanding. And when you put it all together and mesh it in this piece of work, you are actually adding to the body of knowledge by adding your own understanding to it. So Also, you are showing all these implications and findings. How are people going to benefit from it? How are others going to use this information? And the more people would understand it, the more valuable this piece of research would be. So the importance given to the different abstract components can vary between disciplines. Okay? So you should look at the abstract of research that are similar in your own work, please, in your own field. As I mentioned, there are different types, there are different disciplines. And also, what is valuable is when you are having in a journal, the author's guidelines. And nowadays, they also give example chapters. Like I usually work with IGI Global Publishers. So what they do, they give us a demonstration of that's an example of a chapter. This is how we want it to be formulated. This is how we want it to look like. There are lots of support and lots of examples. We just need to find it and read it. Next, please. So the keywords that I was mentioning before, keywords are very important. You need to spend time thinking about them. And they are usually at the bottom, at the end of any abstract, because as I mentioned, this helps in your indices. This helps that people would find your work. People would actually refer to your work and you get cited. As you know, it is very important in our field that our research gets cited. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, so this is an example abstract for you. The screen is very tiny, but we are gonna manage. So this abstract, as you can see, the first part of it, and this is the reference on the top, is that the internet has drastically changed how people interact, communicate, conduct business, seek jobs, find partners, and shop. So that first statement, as you can see, it is telling you what is this paper going to be about. So it's going to talk about the internet and its importance, okay? And then it reads more and it tells you, the next thing is that millions of people are using social networking sites to connect with others. And employers are using these sites as a source of background information on job applicants, right? Then it says, employers report making decisions not to hire people based on the information posted in social network sites. So these two statements, as you can see, they are giving you information about what was previously conducted in previous research. Now look at that coming statement. It says, few employers have policies in place to govern when and how these online character checks should be used, and how to ensure that the information viewed is accurate. Okay, so what is it telling you here? It is giving you what is the problem, what is the gap in the policy there, you see? And then it moves on and it tells you in this article, we explore how these inexpensive, informal, online character checks are harmful to society. So this is the focus of the research. And then guidance is provided to employers on when and how to use these sites in a socially responsible manner. So this is trying to tell you how this article, the findings of the article, is going to give the employers the techniques, the tools, the strategies to be able to use the social media properly in order to be fair for both the employers and the employees. So as you can see, the article highlighted all these points. So when you read an article like that, you know what is the topic, you know what is the research gap, you know what is the background, and then you know what is it about, what are they going to investigate, and then what is providing, what are the implications, what are the usefulness for anybody who reads this piece of research. And if anybody is interested about social media, or somebody also is interested about hiring and firing and HR and how to deal with it, what are the techniques, what is the latest trends, then okay, I will choose that paper. Okay. So that was just an example to demonstrate to you how few words in an article like that, you can have all the requirements there. Next, please. This is another article also, and that screen is extremely minute. I don't know how to read it really, but it's the same idea, and it shows you how you are going to deal the different paragraphs, how they actually introduce to you. My entire screen. No. Okay, it's not working. Okay, next, please. That's another example also of an abstract, and I can't read it. It's too small. Next, please. I can't. Can I actually share mine? I can't. Okay. Next, please. I can't read it. I can't. It's very small. Yeah. So that is the conclusion. Anyway, so in conclusion, today what I try to share with you is that the importance of writing, the importance of choosing your topic, and what are the different genres that could be used, the importance of abstract. Abstract is the first piece of work that actually demonstrate what is your whole research is about. It summarizes it. It is the one that goes first thing for conferences, and accordingly to all the components, if you expressed all the components of your research, that will get your abstract approved. Also, we talked about the importance of your language and what tenses that is advisable to be used. We also talked about what are the things that we shouldn't put in abstract, the importance of keywords and examples of it. And thank you very, very much for listening to my presentation. And I wish you all the best of luck in all your abstract writing. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your energy really gave us a head start for this conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Writing is a skill. Writing is expression. Writing is a painting with words. I can happily sum up by saying that every skill starts and ends with purpose. I would now like to ask the audience if they have any questions for Siham ma'am. We'll take a question answer session of 5 minutes. If anybody has questions, you all can pose them to her. If you have questions, kindly unmute yourselves and introduce yourselves and ask your questions.
I think something, is there something in the chat?
Yes, I think some people, like 2 people have raised their hands. So
Yeah, okay.
no, I think there are no questions. Okay, So I guess we'll move on. I now would like to call upon Mukul again to introduce Dr. Sunil Goel, sir.
Good researchers use research plans merely as starters and are ready to scrap them at once in the light of actual findings. This quote by an American experimental physicist, namely Kurt Richter, can be very well appreciated observing the genius of the honorary editor-in-chief of the International Research Journal of Social Sciences and Humanities, who has authored 31 books and 121 research papers with 150 paper presentations in national seminars and conferences. The personage whom the latter statement exalts to is the Dean and Professor Head of Devi Ahilya Government College, Indore, Dr. Sunil Goel, who is present among us to grace the colloquium. The silver medalist recipient of Merit Scholarship under the Ministry of Human Resource and Development, Government of India, owns several titles, a few of which are Master Trainer certified and accredited by GIZ Germany for integrating climate change adaptation into development planning, certified financial education resource person under the Securities Exchange Board of India, and much more. Be it holding the position of an honorary treasurer of Natraj Social Science Research, Literature, Arts and Culture Institute at the national level, or that of a senior member of the International Association of Computer Science and Information Technology, Singapore. The social scientist maintains his membership at various echelons. The professional researcher has completed a plethora of minor and major research projects, with the latest research study in process being the empowerment of women through education and skill development, sponsored by the National Commission for Women. Now, I would like Dr. Goel to take the helm of the conference in the direction of the concept of sampling.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mukul. Thank you so much, Ms. Anaya. Thank you so much, Ms. Rashmi Dubey. Thanks are also due to Dr. Ujjwala Bendale, the principal, the dean of New Law College, Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, Pune. Thanks a lot to the organizers of Social Science and Management Welfare Association for making me a part of this 3 days internal conference on techniques of research. Thank you so much, all the ladies and gentlemen who are present on this esteemed platform of Google Meet. Thank you so much. And I'm before you to speak, to share my views, to share my knowledge, to share my thinking on sampling. What do you mean by sampling? What sampling is all about? What is the importance of sampling? What are the types of sampling? I hope I am audible. If I am audible, please say yes. Any of you? Yes, thank you, ma'am, Shyam, ma'am. Yes, and now I am ready to share my screen with you. I hope my screen is visible, and yes, thank you so much, friends. I'm before you to speak, to share on sampling. What do you mean by sampling? What is the importance of sampling as far as research methodology is concerned? Friends, I am Dr. Sunil Goel. Welcome you once again to this 3 days international conference on techniques of research. Friends, the goal of my today's presentation, as far as this presentation is concerned, I have been given very less time, 25 minutes. I hope whether I will, I wonder whether I would be able to do justice with this topic or not. I will try my best. In this module, I have made an attempt to present the fundamentals of sampling and in general about the probability sampling methods that are being particularly used in your research study with suitable examples. And the objective of my making this module for you, making this module for learners, is to teach you about the importance of probability sampling in research. And I hope after listening, after going through this module, you will be familiarized about the meaning, you will be familiarized with the importance, principles. I don't know whether I would be able to speak on principles, but I would like to let you familiar about the principles, let you familiar about the selection process of the sampling as far as research methodology is concerned. And as such, I have divided my module into several parts: sampling, meaning, importance, principles of sampling, how to, because this is a very important question before the research scholars, before the researchers, how to select a sample. Sample का चयन हम कैसे करें? Three important features of good sample. Why do researchers prefer sampling? Why? Because this question is before me as a researcher. Why should I do sampling? Why should I prefer sampling? What is the reason of doing sampling? Along with a small self-check exercise to let you again revise what is being told in this today's learning module, followed by conclusion. Let us start with sampling, meaning. Please mute yourself. Sampling, meaning, and importance. As you all know, in research, sampling plays a very important role. And as such, research is based on a smaller representation of large whole. Very, very important. As far as the social sciences is concerned, the field is very big, field is large, the population is big. Or how to have an understanding of this huge population by means of our research study is a big challenge before all the researchers. जो समग्र है हमारे पास, उस समग्र को छोटे प्रतिनिधित्व में के आधार पर हम अपना अनुसंधान या अपने शोध कार्य को कैसे करें, ये सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज, ये सबसे बड़ी चुनौती एक रिसर्च स्कॉलर के बीच में होती है. एंड जनरली सिलेक्टिंग स्मॉलर नंबर्स फ्रॉम लार्ज पॉपुलेशन and in which they are interested to study. If I'm interested to have my own social sciences study in a particular district or in a particular state, and if my state is having a population of 7 crores, how to select small numbers from large population and applying the findings from the study to this whole population from this sample were selected. This is a big task. That's why we are doing sampling. Or sampling is based on certain theories. And before doing sampling, it is necessary on the part of all each and every research scholar to scientifically understand the principles behind all this sampling. Number one, I would like to understand some basic terminologies which are being used in sampling. Number one, the very important terminology used in sampling is census, जिसको हम जनगणना भी बोलते हैं हिंदी में. यूनिवर्स और पॉपुलेशन, यूनिवर्स भी बोलते हैं और जनसंख्या भी बोलते हैं. What is meant by census? We'll have a look into this also. Sample units, क्योंकि ये कुछ टर्मिनोलॉजीज है, ये कुछ कंसेप्ट ऐसे हैं जो सैम्पलिंग जब हम when we are concerned with the science of sampling, इन सब कंसेप्ट्स को हम प्रयोग में लेकर आते हैं. सैम्पलिंग यूनिट्स क्या होती है, what is meant by sample frame, और what is meant by source list. सैंपल क्या होता है, सैम्पलिंग क्या होती है, what is meant by statistic, सांख्यिकी क्या होती है, why this statistical method is being used, what is meant by पैरामीटर, पैरामीटर क्या होता है, नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग क्या होती है, प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग क्या होती है, what is meant by qualitative research, what is meant by quantitative research, and the most important thing, after doing research, why we are concerned with सैम्पलिंग एरर. सैम्पलिंग एरर का मतलब क्या होता है, सैम्पलिंग में जो त्रुटियां हमसे हो जाती है उसका मतलब क्या होता है, what is meant by variables. क्योंकि when we are formulating the hypothesis, In hypothesis, there are two types of variable, independent variables and dependent variables. What meant by these variables? स्वतंत्र चर और which is known as independent variable और dependent variable आश्रित चर से मतलब हमारा क्या होता है. Let us see this concept by our census. What is mean by census? Census का मतलब होता है, यदि मैं हिंदी में भी थोड़ा सा बात करूं, because many of the participants are from Hindi speaking states also in this international conference. पूर्ण गणना को जनगणना कहा जाता है. जनगणना की जनसंख्या की सभी इकाइयों को कवर जाता है. इसका मतलब केवल ये होता है कि जनसंख्या में प्रत्येक सदस्य से डेटा या तथ्यों को एकत्रित किया जाता है. कंप्लीट इन्यूमरेशन is called census. Very, very important. You have to enumerate each and every member of that particular area in which you are performing your research. This is what is all about census. Population census. You all know जनसंख्या की जनगणना होती है, जनसंख्या की गणना होती है और इसके आधार पर बहुत सारे सामाजिक, आर्थिक, सांस्कृतिक विशेषताओं से संबंधित तथ्यों को गवर्नमेंट एकत्रित करती है. दिस इज ऑल इज अबाउट पॉपुलेशन सेंसस. एक चित्र भी आ रहा है जिसके माध्यम से मैं समझाना और अच्छी तरह आपको चाह रहा हूं कि सेंसस क्या होता है. नाउ द सेकंड वन इज यूनिवर्स. व्हाट इज मीन बाय यूनिवर्स? क्या होता है यूनिवर्स? Universe means aggregate of all the individuals, aggregate of all the sampling units from which you are collecting your sample, from which you are drawing your sample. This is what is population. This is what is universe. Means uh, the area of the population, or if you are performing your study in a particular institution, if you are performing your study in a particular college, it means universe means all the students who are enrolled in that particular institution, all the students who are enrolled in that particular college. If you are performing your study on female students, it means all the female students who are enrolled in that particular institution. This is what is universe. This is what is population all about. एक और टर्मिनोलॉजी का जो बहुतायत में प्रयोग किया जाता है, सैंपल इकाई या सैंपल यूनिट. व्हाट इज मीन्ड बाय सैंपल यूनिट? सैंपलिंग यूनिट्स क्या होती हैं? द एलिमेंट्स, द इंडिविजुअल who comprise the sample is called sample unit. बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, क्योंकि साइंटिफिक टर्मिनोलॉजी कई बार हमें कंफ्यूजन हो जाता है. एवरी इंडिविजुअल, सैंपल यूनिट का मतलब है एवरी इंडिविजुअल फ्रॉम विच we are collecting our data, from which we are doing the research, in which every individual item of the population, this is known as sampling. This is known as sample unit. For example, कॉलेज में यदि हम अध्ययन करना चाह रहे हैं तो मतलब कॉलेज का प्रत्येक विद्यार्थी जो है हमारा सैंपल का इकाई होगा या सैंपलिंग यूनिट होगा. आई होप this concept is very, very clear from this figure also. Target population, sample unit, sample. टारगेट पॉपुलेशन में से हम सैंपल यूनिट का चयन करते हैं, सैंपल यूनिट में से हम सैंपल का चयन करते हैं. नाउ कमिंग टू सैंपल फ्रेम. व्हाट इज मीन बाय सैंपल फ्रेम और सोर्स लिस्ट भी बोलते हैं. क्योंकि ये सब साइंटिफिक टर्मिनोलॉजी यू मस्ट नो व्हेन यू आर डीलिंग विथ दिस साइंटिफिक टर्म सैंपलिंग. व्हाट इज मीन बाय sampling frame or sample frame? Complete list of the population from which sample is being drawn. You have to prepare a list, and that list of population from which you are collecting the data, from which you are drawing the sample. This is known as source list, and it is the list of the total number of units or total number of elements or total number of individuals which you desire to be studied. Very, very important. जनसंख्या की पूरी सूची जिसमें से आपको सैंपल लेना है या आपको नमूने का चयन करना है, इसे हम सोर्स बोलते हैं या सैंपल फ्रेम बोलते हैं. I hope this is very, for example, if you are doing your research in an institution, इंस्टीट्यूशन में रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, इसका मतलब यदि आप स्टूडेंट्स पे रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, इसका मतलब ये होता है कि उस पर्टिकुलर इंस्टीट्यूशन में दर्ज हुए समस्त विद्यार्थियों के छात्रों के नाम की एक सूची, इसको हम सैंपल फ्रेम या सोर्स लिस्ट बोले. यदि आप इफ यू आर studying, if you are performing your study in a particular village, it means all the residents of that village with their name. This is known as sample frame or source list. Sample frame या source list वो होती है जिससे हम सैंपल का या नमूनों का चयन करते हैं. A figure is coming before you. I think this will make your concept more clear. Population means जहां पर रिसर्च स्टडी परफॉर्म करने वाला, योर एरिया ऑफ योर रिसर्च, उस एरिया ऑफ रिसर्च से आप सैंपलिंग फ्रेम बनाते हैं. इस एरिया में आपको जो है, आपको कहां से आपको सैंपल का चयन करना है, उसकी पूरी सूची बनाते हैं और उस सूची में से यू यूज टू draw a sample out of it. For example, if that sampling frame contains 5,000 students, you have to, and if you desire to draw a sample of 300 students, you can do that. 5,000 students, the sampling frame, and your sample is 300 students. This is an example which from which I want to get this concept more clear to each and everyone. आइए अब हम बात करते हैं सैंपल की. सैंपल का मतलब क्या होता है, क्या है सैंपल, किसको कहते हैं सैंपल, या हिंदी में मैं बात करूं तो नमूना किसे कहते हैं. सैंपल इज अ मिनिएचर फॉर्म ऑफ द यूनिट और पॉपुलेशन विच रिप्रेजेंट्स, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, माय डियर लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, which represents the universe. Very, very important. Sample ऐसा होना चाहिए which represents the universe, which represent your population. Representative sample होना चाहिए. That means sample should reflect all the characteristics which are present in the universe or which are present in the population. This is very, very important. That is the actual sample. That is the actual meaning of the sample. For example, again one figure is coming before you. एक photograph आपके बीच में आ रहा है कि population we used to draw the sample, and as such you see this sample contains all the characteristics which are present in the population. The characteristics are being defined by various colors, and when we are selecting sample out of this population, this sample must contain each and every characteristics of the population. Now coming to sampling, what is mean by sampling? Sampling क्या होता है? Sampling is a technique, sampling is a process, sampling is a method of selecting a sample. Sampling होता क्या है? Sampling एक प्रक्रिया है, sampling एक तकनीक का नाम, एक प्रविधि का नाम है जिसके माध्यम से हम आबादी के एक अंश को चुनते हैं, आबादी के एक अंश का हम चयन करते हैं, या यूं कहूं समग्र में से एक हिस्से का हम चयन करते हैं, जिसमें उसे हम सैंपलिंग के नाम से जानते हैं. Sampling can also be said a process used in statistical analysis in which predetermined number of observations are taken from a larger population. Very, very important, my dear friends. Predetermined, we have to determine how many observations we want to make, and on the basis of that we used to select this predetermined number. Again a photograph is coming before you, picture is coming before you, so that you are being well versed with this concept of sampling. What is meant by sampling? एक और बहुत important concept, बहुत important concept which is being used in sampling is coming before you is statistic and parameter. सांख्यिकी और पैरामीटर क्या होता है? What is the difference between statistic and parameter? Let us see this table. Statistics means what? Statistic means the value of the variable. जो चर होता है उस चर की जब आप गणना करते हो, उस चर की जो वैल्यू होती है calculated from the sample is called statistic. सैंपल के जब हम उसकी वैल्यू की हम गणना करते हैं, वेरिएबल की चर की हम वैल्यू की गणना करते हैं, तो उसे हम स्टैटिस्टिक कहते हैं. व्हाट इज पैरामीटर? द वैल्यू ऑफ द वेरिएबल existing in the population or universe is known as parameter. These two are certainly very important terms as far as sampling is concerned. So this, I have prepared this table for you so that you can learn what is the difference between these two terms, statistics and parameter, because these two terms are often being used when you are doing science of writing, when you are concerned with when you are writing how sampling in your research is being done. These terms are oftenly being quoted. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक एग्जाम्पल मैंने दिया है कि मान लीजिए एक रिसर्चर हैज सिलेक्टेड अ सैंपल ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स. 100 छात्रों के बीच में से एक सैंपल प्रक्रिया के माध्यम से 10 विद्यार्थियों का चयन करता है. मतलब क्या? उस बैच के छात्रों की औसत आयु वो जानना चाहता है. 100 छात्र हैं, उसके बाद 100 में से 10 को चूज करता है. उसका उद्देश्य ये है he wanted to know the average age of the students of the said batch, or from that sample he calculated the average age of the sample, which comes out to be 21.3 years. Suppose in this case the parameter is known. यदि आपको in this case यदि पूरी जनसंख्या पैरामीटर यदि आपको मालूम है, यदि आपने 100 छात्रों की एज को यदि आपने कैलकुलेट किया हुआ है और उनका एवरेज यदि आप निकालेंगे, if it comes out to be 21.6 years, and from the sample it is coming out 21.3 years. It means 21.3 year is the statistic. It means the value which you are calculating by means of statistics, by means of mathematics, by means of a tool of statistics. And the actual figure 21.6 year, this is known as parameter. इस बात को जो है बहुत अच्छी तरह से आप समझ लीजिए, बहुत अच्छी तरह से जान लीजिए. और this difference जो ये difference 21.6 years and 21.3 years, this difference is due to sampling. This difference is due to sampling. यदि सैंपल आपका बहुत अच्छा होगा तो डिफरेंस यह कम से कम होगा. और हमारा उद्देश्य, हमारा लक्ष्य यही होता है कि हाउ टू narrow down this difference between statistic and parameter. हम सैंपलिंग करते हैं, सैंपलिंग करने का उद्देश्य हमारा ये होना चाहिए, सैंपलिंग इतनी अच्छी हमारी होना चाहिए so that we can narrow down the gap between statistic and parameter. Again, a more picture is coming before you so that you are more familiar with these two terms, parameter and statistics. We use the statistics to estimate the parameter. बहुत important बात है. Statistics का यूज हम पैरामीटर्स को एस्टिमेट करने के लिए करते हैं। ध्यान रखें, क्योंकि कई बार, अभी तो मैंने केवल 100 छात्रों की बात करी, जिसमें उसमें गणना करना बहुत आसान होता है। 21.6 ईयर आ गया 100 छात्रों की। इफ दिस फिगर्स, इफ यू वांट टू हैव, if you want to have the mean age of students who are enrolled in the whole state, यदि पूरे स्टेट में फॉर एग्जांपल देयर आर 8.5 लाख स्टूडेंट्स, उनकी गणना आप कैसे करेंगे? नॉट पॉसिबल। पैरामीटर नॉट पॉसिबल। You have to choose a representative sample out of that, and on the basis of that representative sample, a statistic will come before you. This is all about statistics and parameters. And my dear friends, sampling is of two types. दो तरह की सैम्पलिंग हम नॉर्मली अपनी रिसर्च स्टडी में, as far as this research methodology is concerned, दो तरह की सैम्पलिंग पर हम मुख्य रूप से ध्यान देते हैं। नंबर 1 is non-probability sampling. Number 2 is probability sampling. Let us see something about what is meant by non-probability sampling, because my dear friends, ladies, respected ladies and gentlemen, समय की एक मेरी सीमा है। थोड़ा सा वास्ट क्यों? क्योंकि मैं चाहूंगा कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा पोर्शन सैम्पलिंग का मैं आज कवर कर सकूं। नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग इज अ टाइप ऑफ सैम्पलिंग इन विच ईच मेंबर ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन डू नॉट हैव इक्वल चांस। वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सभी सदस्यों को चयन होने का समान अवसर इसमें नहीं मिलता है, इसीलिए इसको नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग। समान अवसर उपलब्ध नहीं है यहाँ पर चयन का। दैट्स वाई इसे हम नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग कहते हैं। दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एक होता है प्रोबेबिलिटी सैंपल। क्या होता है प्रोबेबिलिटी सैंपल? इसका सीधा उल्टा। यहाँ पे चयन होने के समान अवसर नहीं थे नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी में। प्रोबेबिलिटी सैंपलिंग में प्रत्येक सदस्य के पास चयन होने की समान संभावना होती है। इट मीन्स each and every member of the population has an equal chance of being selected. Most important, equal chance of being selected in the population. This is known as probability sample. ये दो तरह के सैंपल का जो है आप विशेष रूप से ध्यान रखिएगा, परंतु कई बार परिस्थितियां अलग होती है। अकॉर्डिंग टू सर्कमस्टांसेस, अकॉर्डिंग टू द टाइप ऑफ स्टडी वी आर परफॉर्मिंग, we have to rely on sometimes we have to rely on non-probability sampling also. When you go into deep, when to use non-probability sampling, when to use probability sampling, and my dear ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, this is also very, very important. This probability sampling, this non-probability sampling designs are different. The types of tools, techniques you are using are entirely different. The types of tests which you are performing as far as the statistical analysis is concerned are entirely different. You have to make it sure whether you are using probability type of sampling or whether you are using non-probability type of sampling. Each type of sampling has a definite design. Each type of sampling has its own merits and demerits, and on that basis you are using the statistical tools to come out for a particular statistic in that research study. This is what is probability and non-probability sampling. Now coming to the types of research, there are two types of research. One is qualitative research. Quality, we are focusing, when we are focusing on quality, जब हम गुणों पर विशेष रूप से ध्यान देते हैं। गुण सामाजिक जीवन के गुणात्मक पहलू हो सकते हैं, आर्थिक जीवन के गुणात्मक पहलू हो सकते हैं, सांस्कृतिक जीवन के गुणात्मक पहलू हो सकते हैं, या कोई और चीज। गुण पर विशेष रूप से केंद्रित होते हैं तो वी यूज टू डू qualitative type of research. This is a kind of research that focus on the qualitative aspect of the social life, qualitative aspect of our researchers, qualitative aspect of our population. When we are concerned, that we used to do qualitative research, and this qualitative research We used to do observations. We used to do unstructured and in-depth interviewing. Case study method is also being used in qualitative type of research. Quantitative research, when we are concerned with quantitative aspect, when we are concerned with, it means we are concerned with statistical data like average age of the population. मैंने आपको भी example दिया 21.6 years. When we are concerned with these data, when we are concerned with कुछ ऐसे तथ्यों से हमारा संबंध होता है, हम जिसकी गणना करना चाहते हैं, that comes under quantitative research, that comes under quantitative type of research. मात्रात्मक शोध जिसे हम कहते हैं, वह इसमें किया जाता है. एक और बात जो मैंने आपसे शुरू में ही की थी, सैम्पलिंग एरर. क्यों होती है सैम्पलिंग एरर? किस लिए होती है सैम्पलिंग एरर? और सैम्पलिंग एरर हम किसको कहते हैं? सैम्पलिंग एरर, जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया अभी, एक बात मैंने आपसे की, 21.6 years is the parameter, 21.3 years average age is the statistic. Why there is this, why this difference of 0.3 years? Why this difference? This difference is actually due to sampling. आप जितनी अच्छी सैम्पलिंग, जितनी अच्छी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव सैम्पलिंग आप करेंगे, उतनी ये सैम्पलिंग की एरर कम होगी. सैम्पलिंग एरर इज द एरर दैट एंटर्स इनटू द फाइंडिंग्स ऑफ द रिसर्च ड्यू टू सैम्पलिंग. सैम्पलिंग में यदि आपसे चूक हो जाती, सैम्पलिंग करने का यदि आपका तरीका गलत है, सैम्पलिंग करने का यदि प्रविधि आपकी यदि अवैज्ञानिक है, तो यह त्रुटियां जो है सैंपल के माध्यम से आपके निष्कर्षों में प्रवेश कर जाती है और उससे आपके निष्कर्षों पर प्रभाव पड़ जाता है. सैम्पलिंग मीन्स डिफरेंस बिटवीन पॉपुलेशन एंड सैंपल. और एक और बात का ध्यान रखिएगा माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. जब आप सेंसस की स्टडी करते हैं, व्हेन यू आर परफॉर्मिंग योर रिसर्च स्टडी ऑन द होल पॉपुलेशन, देयर इज नो सैंपल, देयर इज नो सैम्पलिंग एरर. जब आप पूरी पॉपुलेशन पर ही अपना ध्यान केंद्रित कर रहे हैं, उसमें आपने सैंपल का सिलेक्शन नहीं किया, मींस देयर इज नो सैम्पलिंग एरर. सैम्पलिंग एरर इज जीरो इन दैट पर्टिकुलर केस. एक और चित्र आपके सामने आ रहा है, इसके माध्यम से मैंने फिर से सैम्पलिंग एरर को जो है प्रदर्शित करने का प्रयास किया. आई होप दिस इज नाउ इज वेरी वेरी क्लियर टू यू. वेरिएबल्स की मैंने आपसे की थी, व्हाट आर द वेरिएबल्स. डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स होते हैं, इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स होते हैं, इनके बारे में भी पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी. वेरिएबल्स इज कुछ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक दैट कैन हैव डिफरेंट वैल्यूज लाइक एज. my for example, your age is 26 years. It means 26 years is a variable. Height, income, etc. etc. ये जो मात्रात्मक गुण जो होता है, that is known as sample. That is known as variable. Variables influences change in the dependent. बहुत important. Variables क्या होता है? वेरिएबल्स, डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स होते हैं, इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल होते हैं. इसके बारे में समय की सीमा है, मैं आपसे डिटेल में चर्चा नहीं कर पा रहा हूं, क्योंकि माय फोकस इज ऑन सैम्पलिंग. लेट अस गो अहेड विद द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ सैम्पलिंग. व्हाट आर द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑन विच सैम्पलिंग इज बेस्ड, ऑन विच साइंटिफिक सैम्पलिंग, साइंटिफिकली what are the principles on which your sampling is based? Number one, principle of statistical regularity, very very important. Number two is principle of large number. ये दो तरह के प्रिंसिपल्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं. यदि if you are reading some more authors, कुछ और राइटर्स को पढ़ेंगे, परंतु इन लार्ज यदि मैं कंसोलिडेट वे में यदि मैं बात करूं, तो these are the two principles which you keep in your mind, which you keep in your brain by doing the sampling. Principle of statistical regularity, principles of large number. What is mean by principle of statistical regularity? हिंदी में इसको कहते हैं सांख्यिकीय नियमितता का सिद्धांत. क्या होता है? According to this principle, sample should be selected at random. जब हम रैंडम सैंपलिंग करते हैं, इट मीन्स ईच एंड एवरी इंडिविजुअल, ईच एंड every sample unit in the population has an equal chance, equal opportunity of being selected, being included in the sample. This is known as the principle of statistical regularity. मतलब जनसंख्या की प्रत्येक इकाई, जनसंख्या की प्रत्येक वस्तु का सैंपल में चुना जाना की संभावना जब समान होती है, तो इस प्रिंसिपल को हम बोलते हैं प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिकल रेगुलरिटी या सांख्यिकी नियमितता का सिद्धांत। एक उदाहरण, एक एग्जांपल मैंने दिया है। मान लीजिए, जैसे पहले भी मैंने 100 बुजुर्ग गांव में है, देयर आर 100 एल्डरली पर्सन लिविंग इन अ विलेज। अब उनकी देखभाल कैसे होती है उसके बारे में वी वांट टू हैव एन स्टडी, एंड फॉर दैट वी वांट टू सी सैंपल ऑफ 25 पीपल। ऐसी स्थिति में आपका सैंपल 100 के इच्छित सैंपल के बजाय 75 पर आ जाएगा। बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है ये। दिस इज नोन एज प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिकल रेगुलरिटी। और द रिसर्चर हैज एन ऑप्शन but to exclude 25% from the study, although the representation is very, very important for the study. और इसीलिए इस मामले में 100 बुजुर्ग व्यक्ति में से प्रत्येक के पास चयन का एक समान मौका कई बार नहीं होता है। इसीलिए सैंपल गांव में रहने वाले कुल बुजुर्ग व्यक्तियों के विचारों का प्रतिनिधित्व नहीं करेगा। क्योंकि केवल 100 बुजुर्ग व्यक्ति आपने सिलेक्ट करके उसमें से 25 आपने सिलेक्ट। This is not the correct way. You have to prepare the sample frame. You have to prepare the source list. Full source list must be with you. Who are the elderly in this particular village? You have to prepare a list, and from that list, only you can have a sampling of. If you want to have a sampling of 25 elderly, you can have. But on the basis of sample frame, on the basis of source list, you can do this. नंबर सेकंड इज द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ लार्ज नंबर, बड़ी संख्या का सिद्धांत। सैंपल आबादी का पर्याप्त प्रतिनिधि होना चाहिए। इस बात पर, इस वाक्य पर जो है यह पूरा सिद्धांत आधारित है। सैंपल शुड बी सफिशिएंटली रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन, and in any research study the size of sample plays a very important role, plays a very vital role as far as getting inferences, as far as getting results, as far as in turn making a conclusion from the whole population is concerned. This sample size plays a very important role, and on the basis of this sample size only, this principle of large number is based. Or one more thing, the larger the size of the sample, the more accurate are the results likely to be. Please keep this in your mind, my dear friends. सैंपल का आकार जितना बड़ा होगा, परिणाम उतने ही सटीक होंगे, परिणाम उतने ही वेरिफिएबल होंगे, परिणाम उतने ही वैलिड होंगे, उतने ही सत्यता लिए हुए होंगे। This is what about the principles on which we use, on which the sampling is based. एक और प्रश्न हमारे बीच में आता है, because lot of research scholars are there on this prestigious platform. एक और प्रश्न जो हमारे बीच में आता है, हाउ टू सिलेक्ट अ सैंपल, सैंपल का चयन हम कैसे करें? दिस इज द स्टेप बाय स्टेप मेथड ऑफ सिलेक्टिंग अ sample. Identify the population. First, you have to identify the population. Decide the sampling unit. Specify the sampling frame. Decide the sample and adopt the sampling technique. This is how we used to do the sampling. ये तरीका है, and my dear friends, before doing sampling, this is my humble advice. This is my humble submission to each and everyone. Before doing sampling, before starting the research even, you must be familiar with the science of research. You must be familiar with the science behind this research. You must be familiar with all the statistical concepts. You must be familiar with the theories of each and everything. Unless and until you are being familiar with each and everything, you can't do this research. तो रिसर्च करने से पहले उसके सिद्धांतों को पढ़ना अत्यंत आवश्यक होता है. आइडेंटिफाई द पॉपुलेशन और यूनिवर्स. यूनिवर्स को आइडेंटिफाई करिए, पॉपुलेशन को आइडेंटिफाई करिए, डिसाइड द सैम्पलिंग यूनिट. सैंपल इकाई को जो है पहले आप उसको जो है उसका निर्णय कर लीजिए कि सैंपल इकाई मेरी क्या होने वाली है. यदि आप इफ यू आर स्टडिंग ऑन elderly means what? Elderly means 60. If you are working on 60 plus population, identify them. Whether you want to work on the whole population who are 60 plus in age, or whether you want to have your work particularly limited uh, to the elderly who are in between the age of 60 to 79 or 60 to 69 years of age, or you are particularly focusing on 80 plus एज ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन. तो ये आपको डिसाइड करना बहुत जरूरी होता है. स्पेसिफाई द सैम्पलिंग फ्रेम. सैम्पलिंग फ्रेम को स्पेसिफाई करना जरूरी है. उसकी नामजद सूची आपके पास में होना चाहिए, अदरवाइज आप सैम्पलिंग नहीं कर सकते. दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज फार एज दिस रैंडम सैम्पलिंग इज कंसर्न. you must have sampling frame, you must have the source list. और सोर्स लिस्ट बनाने से पहले आपको जो है सैम्पलिंग यूनिट को डिसाइड करना पड़ता है. नंबर 4, डिसाइड द सैंपल साइज. सैंपल साइज को डिसाइड करिए. मैंने आपसे ये बात कही है, लार्जर द सैंपल इज मोर यूजफुल व्हेन यू आर कंडक्टिंग द स्टडी. सैंपल साइज को डिसाइड. अत्यधिक छोटा भी नहीं होना चाहिए और बहुत बड़ा भी नहीं होना चाहिए. ऐसा सैंपल साइज होना चाहिए जहां पे आप अपनी स्टडी को आसानी से परफॉर्म करें. एडॉप्ट द सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक. सैम्पलिंग की टेक्निक क्या होगी? सैंपल साइज आपने डिसाइड कर लिया, अब यू हैव टू अडॉप्ट द सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक. सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक क्या होगी? वेदर यू आर गोइंग फॉर अ प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक और वेदर यू आर गोइंग फॉर अ नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग. ये बहुत जरूरी है. These are the steps which are to be followed while drawing a sample from the population. Now, friends, I'm going little bit fast. 3 important features of a good sample. Let us go through these. What are the 3 important features which you keep these in your mind while drawing a sample? Sample must be a representative of the universe. बहुत important बात है, ये आपको समझ लेनी चाहिए बिल्कुल जी. Must be the representative sample of the population, representative sample of the universe. Number 2, it should be unbiased. यह निष्पक्ष रूप से चयनित होना चाहिए. निष्पक्ष रूप से चयनित होना चाहिए. Number 3, the most important one, sample size must be adequate to produce reliable results. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है मित्रों. साइज सैंपल का जो आकार होना चाहिए इतना पर्याप्त होना चाहिए कि वह उनसे आप विश्वसनीय परिणाम निकाल सकें स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस के द्वारा. ये 3 फीचर्स आपके सैंपल में होना अत्यंत आवश्यक है व्हेन यू आर परफॉर्मिंग द स्टडी, व्हेन यू आर डूइंग द रिसर्च स्टडी. अब वाई डू रिसर्चर्स प्रिफर सैम्पलिंग, ये मैं आपसे बात कर चुका हूं. क्यों सैम्पलिंग प्रिफर करते हैं? क्योंकि इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट समटाइम्स टू कलेक्ट द data from the whole population. Now, let us, friends, now I am at the end of my today's this learning module, and with self-check exercise. This is not for checking your knowledge. This is just to revise what we have learned today. And I would like to request each and everyone who are present on this platform, please go to your chat box and write the correct answer of each and every question. I will be waiting for your correct answer. Number 1, first question is coming before you. What is meant by First question is coming before you. The question is the term used to define the smallest element in sample selection is known as, there are four options: population, sample frame, sample unit, sample. Choose the correct answer. What is that? I'm looking forward for your correct answer. Please, please, quick up, please, quickly, because I am, the permission of the chair, with the permission of the organizer, I would like to have 5 minutes more to conclude. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the correct answer. Sheetal Nanda ma'am, correct, very correct. Yogesh ji, very correct. Sample unit is the correct answer. The term used to define the smallest animal element in the sample selection is sample unit. Second question is coming before you. This is a fill in the blank. Sampling error can be reduced by. How can you reduce the sampling error? Fill in the blank. Sampling error can be. Please, please be quick. I am waiting for your answers. Sampling error can be reduced. Please go to your chat box and type the correct answer. Sampling error can be reduced by. Sampling error को हम किस, सैम्पलिंग त्रुटि जिसको बोलते हैं, उसको हम रिड्यूस कैसे कर सकते हैं? Please write the correct answer. I have not, I didn't got the correct answer yet. Waiting because time is limited. Increasing sample size. मैंने आपको बताया था, सैंपल साइज को जितना आप बड़ा रखेंगे उतना जो है सैम्पलिंग एरर कम होगा. थैंक यू राजेश जी. द राइट आंसर इज coming before. Now, question number 3. What is a sample unit? Please choose the correct answer. What is a sampling unit? Among these 4 A, B, C, D, you have to write the correct answer. Right? A, B, C, or D. Sampling unit किसे कहते हैं? The sampling frame, the basic containing the elements of the population to be sampled, the population, the method used to collect the sample. What is sampling unit? Please write the correct answer. Please write the correct. Yes. Thank you, Sheetal ma'am. The basic unit containing the elements of the population to be sampled is known as sampling. Number 4, sampling error increases as we increase the sample size. Is it true or false? Thank you so much, Mamta ma'am, Deepak ji, Yogesh ji, Malika ji, Ram Lavan ji. Thank you. Just this is again false. Dipanshu ji, Santosh ji. Santoji, no, this is not true. This is false. Sampling error increases as we increase. Sampling error decreases as we increase the sampling size. That's why this is incorrect. This is false. Number 5, question number 5 is coming before you. Any population which we want to study is referred as. Any population which we want to study is referred. Choose the correct answer. Standard population, final population, infinite population, target population. A, B, C, or D. Which is the correct answer? A, B, C, or D. Question number 5. Any population which we want to study is referred as. Yes, D is the right answer. Nilimaji, thank you so much. Ram Lagan ji, thank you so much. Kumar ji, Malika ji, yes, D, target population, is also called as SAM. 6, question number 6. The list of all units in a population is called list of all units in a population. Population सूची को, इकाइयों की सूची को क्या बोलते हैं? A, B, C, D. Random sampling, sling frame, bias, parameter. Yes, please be quick, be quick, be quick. Yes, right answer is Sheetal. Thank you so much. Right answer is B, sampling frame. The list of all unit in a population is known as sampling frame. या source list भी बोलते हैं इसको. Number 7, what does quantitative research measure? Quantitative research में हम क्या measure करते हैं? Again, 3 options, A, B, C. Feelings, numbers and figures, numbers and feelings. What do we measure in quantitative research? Yes, again, B is the answer. Thank you so much. Many of the participants are writing the correct answer. Thank you for understanding this learning module so correctly. Numbers and figures. Now coming, I'm at the last, I'm concluding my today's learning module. And I hope in this learning module, I have been able to present the fundamentals, the importance of sampling. And I have tried my level best to discuss in detail with the selection procedures along with along with presenting some simple examples, suitable examples wherever it was concerned. And hope after learning about all this, you will be able to understand. You have been able to understood the concept of sampling, which references my today's learning module was based. And I'm thankful to all these esteemed authors, esteemed scholars, which have shaped my own thinking, which have shaped my own views, which have shaped my own knowledge about the sampling. Some web links are also आप इस पर किसी पे भी क्लिक कर सकते हैं. This is all online. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to each and everyone. Thank you so much to all the viewers. Now this house is open for the questions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, organizers, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much, Ma'am Principal, Ma'am Dean, Dr. Ujjwala Bindale, for giving me this opportunity to interact with such a such audience, such research scholars in detail. Good luck to each and everyone. Thank you so much. Coming back to the studio once again. Over to Mukul sir, over to Anaya ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wise explanations. I can say with confidence for researchers and literary enthusiasts that sampling can basically be termed as the synecdoche, which is a figure of speech in English language. It is the synecdoche of research because it represents a whole for a part and part of a whole. So thank you, sir, for sharing this explanation and also for conducting this really interesting quiz. I'd now like to request Mukul to introduce the last speaker of the day, which is Professor Manoj Kumar Mishra, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Proceeding further, our last guest speaker for the day is Professor Manoj Kumar Mishra. He is a well-known academician and researcher. He has 20 years of versatile experience of teaching, research and administration in India and abroad in the capacities of Dean, Director, Vice President and Professor. Currently, he is a professor at College of Business and Economics, Salale University, Fish, Ethiopia. Moreover, Professor Mishra holds the position of a Secretary of Forum for Interdisciplinary Research Methods and International Association of Research Methods for Professionals. He is MA in Economics, MSc in Statistics, and achieved his PhD in Economics and Quantitative Techniques from Magad University, Bodh. He has also been awarded Honorary BSc in Economics and Multidisciplinary Research from Florida, and Honorary BSc in Management from United Kingdom. He is a gold medalist and champion in academic research world. He specialized in econometrics, development economics, business and data analytics, quantitative techniques, and applied statistics. The renowned business economist has supervised 12 PhD scholars. He has been honored with more than 20 national and international awards by their respective recognized bodies for immense contribution in teaching, research, and administration. He has blended video lectures in Advanced Research Methods 1 and 2 and created course material for Development Economics 1 and 2, Rural Development Project Planning for master level courses and Ethiopian Civil Services, University, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. He has published around 150 research papers and articles in national and international peer journals and newspapers. He has 15 patents concerning to data analytics, economics, and econometrics. Furthermore, he has authored 4 books for PG level on his credit. His books, Managerial Economics and Engineering and Managerial Economics, have been taught in many institutes and universities in India and abroad. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to hear from you, sir, about modeling in research.
Thank you so much. I think I am fully audible. Okay. So first of all, I greet the Social Science Management and Management Welfare Association and Bharati Vidyapeeth University, Pune, for organizing the 3 days International Conference on Techniques of Research. because in this time the importance of research has been increasing all over the world. Previously, we are also focusing on the innovation, and innovation is regarded as the engine of growth of any country, of any society. In this way, the research is the important tools. So so today I will deliver my lecture in this international conference, modeling in research. So my objective is not to teach the modeling. My objective is to motivate the researchers so that they can use more and more modeling in their study while doing the research. So what is the modeling? Generally, the modeling is the numerical expression of real world problems. But when, suppose we can make the mathematical modeling like linear programming. What is our objective and what conditions we have to work? We make the mathematical modelings. In spite of this, suppose there is a world. So we can make the model of the earth, model of the world. You have seen the globe. What is the globe? Globe is the model. That is the modeling of the world. Globe is the modeling of the earth. When we make the topography, that is also the modeling. So any numerical expression of the real world problem is called the modeling. As far as it is concerned to the research modeling, so research modeling means numerical expression of research objectives. Research modeling is the numerical expression of research objectives. What are the variables of research? What is the objective of research? According to the objective of research, we have to select the variable of research, and then we gave the shape of numerical expression about the interdependency of the variables of research, so that we can draw more and more information, we can take the conclusion, we can infer more about this model. So model is the numerical expression of the research objectives. This is the first thing. Now we have to think that uh, why the relevancy of model is increasing. The main thing is that suppose that when we measure in the number any things, the accuracy increases and we reach more to the estimation, we get the result more accurate. Suppose that there are 3 students and we are saying that a is 60%, a is, suppose that there are 3 students and in examination a has got the 1 marks, B has got the 60 marks and C has got the 99 marks out of 100. Then in this way, in the mathematical dictum, by the modeling method, we can also say that C is fail by 1%, B is fail by 40%, and A is fail by 99%, and we can do the comparison. So while doing the while making the models in the research, we can do the comparison and we can estimate the values really. There are parameters of the model, we estimate the real sense. So in the modeling, in the research, we study the 2 types of model, mathematical models and statistical models. Mathematical model is the deterministic model, while a statistical model is the probabilistic models. So we have seen that when we write the mathematical model in the case of regression, we write that suppose y is the function of x1, x2, x3, x4 xn. Suppose so y is the dependent variable and x1, x2, x3 xn are the independent variable. Okay. Then we make that, when we make the model in simple model, I am telling the multiple linear model, y is equal to alpha plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta 3 x3 plus mu. Suppose y is equal to alpha plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta 3 x3. This is then here in this case alpha and beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, these are the parameters of the model, while alpha is the intercept, alpha is the constant of the model, while beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 are the coefficient of the model, and we try to find out the value of these all together. Constant and constants and coefficients are called the parameter, like the alpha and beta. Now the main thing is that y is equal to alpha plus b, y is equal to alpha, y is equal to alpha plus beta, beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2. Suppose this is the mathematical models, because in this model we can calculate the exact value of y. But if we include the stochastic change in the model, we include the random change in the model. Suppose that y is equal to alpha plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x3 plus x2 plus beta 3 x3 plus mu or u. The mu is called the stochastic change, and this makes the model a statistical model, and a statistical model is called the econometrics model also. So while in the case of social science research, in the case of management research, in the case of humanities and art research, we study the society, we study the socio-economic, cultural, political behavior of the society, which is dynamic, which is very complex, which is changing. So it is not possible that all the variables can be included in the models. It is not possible to include all the variables in the models, but we try to optimize the model. We try our maximum effort to select most of the variables and most important variables in the model. That is the very important. So a statistical models is more important in the research. uh, Other models we have seen that the linear regression model is very important in these models. In the linear regression model, there can be the simple linear model. There is one dependent variable, one independent variable. The multiple regression model, one dependent variable and more independent variables, but the independent variable are quantitative in nature. Dependent variable is also quantitative in nature. We can make the logic, this is called the linear model, but in the non-linear model there can be the semi-log model and many type of when we present the values and putting the graph, drawing the graph, it will not become the linear line. So this is the non-linear models. So in the general case, most of the models are non-linear models. So when the model is non-linear, the parameters become of three types. In the linear models, there are only two types of parameter, alpha and beta. While in the non-linear model, there are three types of parameter, alpha, beta and gamma. Suppose that y is equal to alpha, alpha, alpha x1 power 0.5, power 0.3. So that is the value of gamma. So if there is the non-linear model, we change the non-linear model in the linear model by taking the log. By taking the log both sides, we make the linear model, because making this linear model, the forecasting become easy while estimation the value of the parameters of the model. So one thing's making the model, we have to see that uh, sometimes the dependent variables may be the quantitative, the dependence variable may be the qualitative. If the dependent variable is qualitative, if the dependent variable is qualitative and independent variable are maybe the qualitative, maybe the quantitative, maybe the qualitative and quantitative, but such situation rises. In this case, suppose the dependent variable is qualitative variable, that is the categorical variable, we cannot measure the exact value in terms of number, then we divided in different parts, and if we divide the in two parts, the dependent variable, that is called the binary logistic model. Suppose a student is giving the examination, he will pass or he will fail. Fail means 0, pass means 1. So that is called the binary logistic model. Suppose that the dependent variable is divided in more than two parts. More than two parts. Suppose that we are taking the feedback of a teacher. The students are satisfied with the teaching methodology of the teacher or not. So we divide the dependent variable in 5 parts, 4 parts. That is called the uh, multinomial logistic model. So multinomial logistic model is also very important. Binary logistic model is very important. Probit is very important. Logit is very important. Such situations are very important in the models. So while doing the study, generally, so one thing is also important uh, in this model. The selection of the variables is very important. If suppose that what dependent variable you are choosing, what is the independent variable? So dependent variable is related to the objective of the study, that we have to find the value, while independent variable that should be related to which determine the value of dependent variable, and that should be very clear according to the objective of research. Such times we have sometimes we have seen that the model is not according to the objective of the study. So we try to first we read the objective of a study again and again. Then according to this we can select the variables. The variables means the factors of the models, maybe the dependent factors, maybe the independent factors, but we have to see that the factors may be qualitative or may be quantitative. We should try to choose the exact factors which is related to the objective of the study. Otherwise, there will be error in the models. So this is the very important. After that things, we have to see that in the models, in the one thing is also important, selection the variables. The variables selection is also complex things, but we should think more about the selection of variables. It may be the dependent variable, independent variable, the mixed variable also may be. The dependent variable may be quantitative, qualitative, independent may be quantitative, qualitative. So according to the objective of the study, according to the nature of the variable, we should select the model, because there are many models, and in this case we have to give the justification of the selection of model. It is the better way that read the many models, see the many models while we are doing the study. So according to your topic, download the many research paper. You should download the many research papers, and you should see that how the researchers are selecting the variables, what models they are using, what is the importance of this model, which model is appropriate for which situation, that is related to the justification of model. That is the very important, because techniques of research is important, but more important is the selection of research, which selection of the techniques, which techniques and tools of appropriate in which types of objective of the study, that is the more important in this case. So we have to your data, that your data may be the cross section data, your data may be the uh, time series data, your data may be the panel data. So according to the nature of the data, we have to select the model, cross section model, panel data model, uh, time series models. All those things are very important in this selection. So generally in the regression model, we calculate the value of alpha, beta and gamma depend on the objective of the study. But we also find the modeling error. Why we find the modeling error? Suppose the data is not accurate. Suppose the data is not accurate and you have not chosen the appropriate models that capturing the objective of the data, and your data is the small data is not big data, there is a problem, there is the error in the models, and you are not handling the you are not able to handle the statistics properly, mathematical modeling properly, econometrics model properly, the tools of research properly, there is a high chance of the error in your model. So this is also the very important. Generally in the another case, we can make the inventory model, we can use the simulation model. These are also the important model in this way. So in the models, first select the variables of the model according to the objectives and then calculate the parameters on the basis of the data. So if the data is a big data, so by the pen and pencil, the calculation of the parameter is not possible. So in that situation, we can use the research software. We can use the research software like the Astata, SPSS, Excel, Python, R, Gretel, eViews. These are the very good research softwares, particularly in the mathematical, particularly in the modeling of research. Astata and eViews are the very good software to calculate the value of the parameters of the model. And after calculating the parameters of the model, you can put the value of the models, and you can do the analysis, you can interpret the models. The interpretation of the model is very important. If you are not able to interpret the models, means the value of alpha, the value of beta, the value of gamma, what is the value, and the value is this, the value is positive or negative, then the hypothesis testing, what is the total value. So we also important the R square. If the value of R square is good, generally is more, it is considered that the model is fit. But sometimes the value of R square means the determination. The value of R square means coefficient of determination. How much percentage dependent variable is determined by the independent variable in this model. This is also very important. So coefficient of determination, coefficient of non-determination, that is k square, all those things are very important. Sometimes we are seeing that the value of R square is high and we are thinking that the model is good, but the model is not good. Because, so not go more on the values of R square, try to select the variables, try to select the strong variables that is related to the value of dependent variable in the models. And by selecting the good variables, appropriate variables, by selecting the justification of model, justifiable model, viable models, and data size, on the basis of the data nature, we can use the good model and we can forecast. Because generally model is used in the two sense. First one, in the descriptive statistics we also use the model. By the model is using by making the graphs, making the graph, making the pictures, the graphical presentation of data, the pictorial presentation of data, that is the data visualization, that is also called the model. We are making the political map of world, we are making the natural map of world, we are making the globe. These are the models. In the same way, so that is related to the descriptive research models. While in the predictive research models, in the predictive research model, regression is very important tools, and analysis and ANOVA, MANCOVA, all those things are the very important tools for the predictive research models. While in the prescriptive research models, linear programming, simulation method, inventory method, so these are the very important models using in the research. So by the good models, by the application of good models, we can capture the objective of the study. So it is better to think more and more about the objective of the study and selection of model, and which model is appropriate in which situation, That is the main things we apply in the model. So thank you so much. Any questions from the participants? So thank you to, so I feel proud to be the part of this international conference organized by uh, Bharati Vidyapeeth Law College, Pune, and the International Social Science and Management Welfare Association. All the organizing committee, I am seeing the uh, Dr. Mukul, Dr. Ananya, and Dr. Brajesh Kumar has invited me to be the part of this international conference. So thanks all of you, all the participants. Thank you for patience listening my speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really lovely to listen to you. And I would just like to sum up your speech by saying, just as the preamble provides framework for our constitution, modeling provides the framework for the concept of research. With this, we come to the end of our session. It was truly a treat to listen to all the speakers. We are privileged to witness this powerhouse of knowledge with the touch of a button. I would extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speakers whose words inspired us all. I also thank BVDU New Law College Pune and ISSMWA Jabalpur for organizing such a pleasant event. I extend my warmest regards to Dr. Ujwala Bindai ma'am for being the inspiration she always is. A big thank you to Professor Rashmi Dubey ma'am and Dr. Devendra Vishwakarma sir for their constant support and encouragement. A big shout out to the technical team for making this virtual event a success. I also extend my gratitude to my colleague Mukul for being a wonderful co-host. Lastly, I thank the audience for being so cooperative and encouraging. Do take care of yourselves, and tomorrow we'll be back with new speakers. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Please fill all attendance form. Please check your message box. Please fill attendance form. Okay, thank you.